independent oversight will you have to ensure the integrity of this and that all the decisions are made on merit? And have you directed that there shouldn't be any colour-coded tables?
No colour coding, Mark. What there will be is the councils will, for those councils who've already brought forward their projects and talked about their community priorities, that's going to be important, that we will take and assess those. The Infrastructure Department will be doing that. I'll, of course, have a look at those as well. But each and every one of the 537 councils across Australia will benefit from this. It will be based on what their Roads to Recovery funding is, and so it's based on their road network and the length of their road network, as well as, of course, the number of people that they have in their local government areas. So it's a formula worked out a long time ago by the department, very accountable, very transparent. Each and every one of the local government areas right across the nation will benefit from this, regional, metropolitan, remote, the whole lot.
And the $500 million additional, is that coming from debt?
It's part of the $100 billion record amount that we're spending on infrastructure over the next decade. It's part of that.
Just on a different topic, you have large parts of your party that support a pro-coal agenda in this country. Can you guarantee that you can bring them on board for the government's technology roadmap, which foreshadows coal being supplanted by gas and pumped hydro in a transition to cleaner sources of energy?
Well, when you say large parts of the National Party, I think you mean all parts of the National Party. We're all pro-coal, but we're pro-coal. We're pro all technologies. We believe in technology rather than taxation. I mean, if you ask Anthony Albanese, he'll say one thing in Bega today and another thing in Marrickville tomorrow. With a National Party member, we'll say one thing in our electorates today and we'll say exactly the same thing when we come to Canberra. We'll say exactly the same thing wherever we are in Australia, because that's what the National Party, who understand that there are many, many jobs in coal, many, many jobs in resources, many, many jobs in renewables as well. And I know Mark Colton's electorate has a lot of renewable energy technology happening with solar farms and the like. Gas, of course, is important too. I've spoken to Minister Angus Taylor many occasions on the need for technology rather than taxation. That is the National Party way. That is the government's way. And indeed, this technology roadmap is a draft. It's in its draft form, so there will be the opportunity for input into that process.
How concerned should Australians and industry be over China changing inspection procedures for iron ore?
We'll work through that. We'll work through that in a measured, considered way, as we always do, as people would expect their government to. And I know that the Resources Minister Keith Pitt, our Trade Minister Senator Simon Birmingham are working with our Chinese diplomats, working through DFAT, working through the proper processes. We'll get an outcome. China knows and understands that we produce the best agriculture, the best resources in the world, and we'll go on doing that. They obviously are going to need the products that we export. They're going to need them into the future. Yes, we'll have a few hiccups along the way. That's the case, no matter whether it's Asia, no matter where the case might be, but we'll work through those in a careful, considered and diplomatic way.
Barley, beef, iron ore and today coal. How concerned are you about this decision apparently in China to steer away from using Australian imports and use domestic coal supplies instead? Coal is our third biggest export commodity to China.
It is, and Brett, you're totally right. And of course, as I said again, we will work through this in a careful, considered way. We understand that China is a big customer of ours, $149.7 billion of exports, and we want to make sure that not only we retain as many of those exports, but indeed we increase them as time goes on. And I've got every confidence that Senator Birmingham, as the Trade Minister, Keith Pitt, as the Resources Minister, will be able to do just that.
Difficult, isn't it, to work through in any sort of considered way when China won't even pick up the phone, won't take a phone call from a minister? How do you then contact the Chinese authorities and talk to them if they're not going to pick up the phone?
I say again, I know I've got every confidence that Senator Birmingham will be able to work this out in a rational, clear and proper way. Working through our DFAT officials, working with China. China needs Australia just as much as Australia needs China, and it's a two-way relationship. It's been happening for many, many years, and I'm sure it'll be happening for many more years to come.
Just in regards to Joel Fitzgibbon's comments, how concerned are you? Are you happy with the way Australia has behaved in calling for an inquiry into COVID-19?
Well, this was an and is a Team Australia moment, and Joel Fitzgibbon has once again failed the test.
India, we've heard some encouraging signs from that market in terms of picking up some of the slack on barley. Is that welcome news that there is an outlet for Australian farmers? And can you update us on the 6 ships that have barley exports on the way to China at the moment but haven't been able to sort of deliver them?
Well, there's an old saying of the slow boat to China, but indeed that barley is important that it reaches the destination. It's important that it reaches the port, and doesn't matter what the speed of the boat might be, we want to see it offloaded. Australian barley is the best barley in the world, and I know for particularly our West Australian and South Australian growers, yes, we grow a lot of barley on the East Coast as well. My late father Lance used to do that himself, but particularly for WA and SA growers, they've produced a lot of the barley which is indeed used by China. We want to make sure that that reaches its destination. You're right, Brett. You know, the Indian opportunities are there and welcome, and we look forward to diversifying our trade opportunities wherever and however we can. I'm really pleased that under the International Air Freight Mechanism, which we've been able to establish as part of our sector-wide $1.28 billion assistance to Australia's aviation industry, that we've found indeed some potentially new markets for all sorts of things, not least of which is Victorian sheep meat, salmon from Tasmania, Geraldton lobsters and the like, because otherwise their markets may well have been lost and dried up in the COVID-19 pandemic.